Hi, I'm Scott.
And I'm Michelle, and we are the owners of the Main Street Mouse.
And this is the Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast, show number 188 for June 2nd, 2025.
For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving. And supervise your children.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
'Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Dead men tell no tale.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you. But may I just say, Aye.
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We're back.
After 2 weeks.
2-week hiatus.
Yes. Last Monday was Memorial Day, and we were very, very busy.
We've been busy.
We have been so busy, you guys.
Like the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, since mid-May.
Yeah. And not to mention, add in all the busyness, we've also had a family tragedy.
Yes.
During that time.
Yes, we did.
So we'll talk about that. Actually, do you just want to get that off?
Sure.
So if you follow our social media, you'll know that on last Tuesday, Tuesday before that, actually.
Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow.
It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow. We lost our best buddy, our little boy, Jack.
Yeah, a lot of you guys have watched Jack grow up because we used to have Jar Dirt Fridays, and we were all about like pirate jokes and such when we first started. And when we got Jack, we named him Captain Jack Sparrow Atwood because he had a black fingernail.
He
like
did.
A little pirate nail. And his first Halloween, we dressed him like Jack Sparrow in tiny little costume.
There's actually a Jar Dirt video out there that I created of him
dancing,
doing the little if
Jar
you know,
Dirt.
I've got a Jar Dirt.
Yeah.
So that was something very. I mean, we knew he was getting up there. We knew we weren't going to have him forever. But it was still never expect it.
No, because I did talk about this on my podcast on Thursday, but as I had said, we were at a media event and he got sick very, very fast.
He did. Before we left for the media event, he'd been getting slow for the last over a couple of years now. He's actually kind of gotten a little bit slower.
Yeah, a little bit slower, but he was still being his crazy self.
He was still eating, and that's what everybody kept telling us. When they stop eating, that's when you need to really realize that something's happening.
Yeah,
and
it's
never
not like
stopped.
we weren't watching, because we've been watching. I mean, we watched him like a hawk.
We did. We watched him, but over the last year, he developed like his mouth was getting
Arthritis.
sore. He didn't climb like he used to. He the steps were getting harder for him. But every night I'd help him up the stairs to get him up there. He had no secret that our dogs sleep on our bed. And for the last few months, Jack didn't want to even come up on the bed because I think it was just too hard for me to have to pick him up, and then he couldn't get comfortable.
He couldn't get comfortable. He actually slept better on the floor these past couple months. And I tried to give him blankets. I tried to give him pillows.
I
And
didn't want him.
he's just, nah, I'm good. So, yeah, it's one of those things that, it was very unexpected. Like, again, we were at a media event, and it happened fast, and he didn't suffer.
And I'm glad it was fast. There's a lot of me that's glad it happened at home. There's parts of me that glad he didn't suffer that we knew of in any possible way. He didn't act like he was in pain.
No, never.
We were giving him something every day for the arthritis, and the coughing and stuff like that he would have issues with from time to time, and that kind of helped him. And I think that helped keep him out of pain. But it was very, very hard to go through, especially so Michele, like she said, we were at a media event. We were covering Epic Universe's media event, and this was the day one of actually being at Epic. So I was in the park at Epic. Michele was still at the hotel, and Aiden had called her, and she rushed home to try to get here before something had happened, and sadly she didn't make it home in time. Aiden was home alone when it happened.
Yeah, it was terrible.
He was holding him, though. He was everything we could want, somebody with him. We didn't want him to be alone when it happened, and he was not alone when it happened.
No. I told Aiden on the phone, I said, just cover him with a blanket and love him and pet him, and I'm on my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't make it. And it's one of those things that, grief is a funny thing, because like it comes and goes. And anybody who ever tells you it's just a dog or just a pet doesn't fully understand what it's like to have something follow you around for 16 years, for somebody who is with you all the time, and they give you unconditional love. And, that's so hard. You don't find it people most of the time. And
no, and that's so when I went back to the media event the next day, 'cause you stayed home, I was at the event the next day because I did go back. So many of the people that came up to me to make sure I was okay, and I didn't even know they knew. It was just certain people saw I put out the Facebook post.
I think word got around.
Our media rep at Universal had talked to a couple of the other people who knew who we were and not who we were, but knew friends of ours. And they just came up to me, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you? If you need anything from yesterday," because they knew I missed 3/4 of the first day, they were like, "Scott, if you need any of my content, I will give it to you." And I'm so appreciative.
So nice.
But one of the guys, Seth, had come up to me and he goes, I lost my father earlier this year, but he goes, it was harder when I lost my animals because I saw my animal every day. He goes, I talked to my father once every week or every other week, but he goes, my animals were in my life every day. So he goes, it's harder. And I get that now.
Yeah, I do. I mean, see, I agree with that, but then part of me doesn't, because if anything happens to my parents, you might as well just throw me aside. I will not be okay.
Right. Well, no, when I lost my dad, which was actually 3 days before we got married, it was horrible.
It was horrible, and it's something you struggled with so hard. And you didn't see your dad hardly ever because he lived across the country.
Yeah, I'd see him. If I saw him once a year, that was crazy. But when we started dating and everything, I don't think I saw him, actually. I never had gotten out there after the time when there was a couple years where I didn't see him. I talked to him. But there was years I didn't actually get to see him because he was busy, I was busy, money. Things
well,
like
life gets away with.
It does, and you always think you have tomorrow.
You do, and I just I don't want to dwell on a depressing subject because I think we took it a little far. But I just want to thank you guys for the outpouring of love and support. Because a lot of our followers said that Jack was their dog too.
He was the official mascot of.
Yes, he was, and a lot of people loved him, and he will be missed. And we just thank you so much. It has not been easy on us, but
it has not.
I'm thankful for the years that we had with him.
Definitely. The outpouring of support has been overwhelming.
And
so thank you guys for that.
And Jack has been to Disney a couple times, just so you know.
He's been to Disneyland.
He has. He's been to Disneyland, and he stayed at the cabins a couple times for Walt Disney World. He is a world traveler, too.
He used to. There was many a times before we had Ava that Michele would be at a media event or doing something, and then I'd check, you want to go with me, pick up Mama? And he would come. He would come ride in the car with me. So there's plenty of times that I would be in the car and he would be in the back seat, because he loved to ride in the car. He loved it so much.
He was really crazy in the car, though.
It was crazy, but those few times I would come to the media event and he'd be in the back seat. Coming to see you.
We're gonna miss him, and again, I don't want to. We'll just end it with thank you, and thank you for letting us share him with you for the past 16 years, and thank you for loving him, and we love him.
Yep, we'll love him. Always miss him.
Always. So
okay, let's try to. Sorry, I didn't want to get upset.
You want me to sing or something?
If you want to sing, go for it. That made me laugh, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so it was rough, but let's go ahead and last time we talked to you guys, we had just gotten back from Disneyland.
Oh yes.
For the 70th anniversary. Sorry, I'm trying to segue and get out of this. And we knew we were having a busy time, so we had got back from Disneyland. We had the media event that we went and covered at the Dr. Phillips Center with the genie.
Yes. So wait a minute. We got to regroup for a second because I know you're off your game now. So
I really am.
All right. So okay, breathe in, breathe out.
I'm okay.
All right. So we did tell you guys about our Disneyland trip the last time.
Yes, we did.
So we just didn't tell you anything that's happened since.
No.
No, because we had the thing at Dr. Phillips Center with the genie. Then we had Epic. Then I had last weekend the Cool Kid Summer
Exactly,
kickoff
yeah.
with new shows.
Right. So we did record before we had gone to Epic. We had actually recorded the day before, I believe.
Yeah, we did.
We actually recorded that because we knew we were going to be busy.
Yeah.
And we knew that the next week was Memorial Day, and we most likely wouldn't be able to do a show because we had plans.
And we really don't like missing. Just so you guys know, we don't like to miss because
No, we don't. We don't like to leave that out there. And it's once we get a groove going, in week after week after week, we record. And
see, and we skip a week, and we're like, yeah.
It's really hard to remember what we talked about because I'll be perfectly honest. I never listened to the show after we put it out. Never, because I used to do that with the other show when we did the live show. Michele was very much about, we would do it and she would listen to it back or watch it back because she always was critiquing if it was okay. I'm the type of person where I put it out, I don't want to listen to it.
See, now I don't listen to this one much either. I do listen to mine.
Yes.
And
I listen to yours every week.
I think because mine is on a different scale as far as like it's just me talking. Like you say, I talk to myself for an hour, and which isn't a problem.
No.
But I talk about all kinds of different things. It's not about Disney. Well, we touch on Disney, of course, because that's my life. But
right.
I talk about serious things and whatnot,
Right.
and it's more like just a discussion.
And because I'm not on your show, I've been on your show a couple times.
Yes, you have, and it was fun.
It was fun, but I listen to your show because I'm not on it, so I don't know what you talk about. Yes, I edit it and I put it together, and then I listen to it to see how it comes together. But I'm not there, so it's one of those things where I listen to yours because of that. But ours, I don't listen to it because I'm sitting here, and this is one and done. We do not edit it down to the fact of I listen to every minute of it to make sure it sounds okay.
Yeah, so we just appreciate you still listening. I mean, after all these years, I think we've gotten it down. And I think the reason why I listen to mine so much is it's still only a year old, and
Right.
I just don't want to sound like stupid.
No, yours is still great. It's still good show each and every time. But so let's pick it up with Epic Universe. So as I had stated, I did have to leave early the first full day at Epic, but that wasn't the first event of the whole shindig, I guess you could say, the media.
No, it was the night before.
It was the night before. So they gave us a tour of the Helios Hotel, which for those that don't know, the Helios actually is inside of Epic Universe. You can actually leave the Helios and walk right into the park.
Yeah, it's the big hotel I'm sure you've seen where they have the beautiful views of the park on their balconies.
It's a fantastic hotel. They did give us a tour of it on that day before we went to Epic. I was really impressed with how nice the hotel looks. The offerings they offer is great there. We got the people who are in charge of Lowe's Hotels who run the Helios, who runs a lot of Universal's hotels. They spoke to us. Then I think it was the vice president of Universal spoke to us.
Yeah.
And then they had a small reception where we got to go on the balcony, but we didn't get to go into the park yet. So we were kind of standing on this balcony, and we were kind of looking over Universal's Epic Universe and seeing it. And that was the closest I had ever been to it at that point, because we had never, lots of people we know have gone. And before this media event, they have gone, they had checked it out, they had paid for the pass holder. We didn't do it.
We did not, because we knew a media event was coming up, and we're like, well, I guess we don't need to pay for it.
So we didn't want to. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I kind of went in there without having I didn't watch any spoiler videos. I had no preconceived notions
of
what I was going to see. So after the Helios reception they had for us, they did take us over to the other parks, Universal's Islands of Adventures and Universal Studios, and they gave us a small little VIP experience over there. So we got to do a couple of the rides. They had a little bit of a food offering for us. It was just kind of a thank you type fun thing they gave to us before the next morning. And most of us were at that thing going, gosh, I got to get going tomorrow. The next 2 days are going to be bad. They're going to be long. It's going to be hot. And it
very
was
hot. It's
so
been
hot.
awful here. It's been awful.
And so a lot of us were like, okay, time to get back to the hotel. We stayed at Celanova, which is actually a fantastic hotel. It's really nice. We stayed there, and I knew the next morning was bright and early. I was actually up and out of the room by, I think, before 7.
Yeah.
That morning. So got on the bus, went over there. They took us in the back way. They had a huge media center. Universal, I tell you what, they know how to take care of the media. I will say that. They did it all up for us. They had this big tent set up. Go in there. That's where you could work. It was air conditioned. There was places to plug in, places to charge, lots of things to eat in there. They had food running for us all day from breakfast till nighttime. They had snacks, they had drinks, they had water, and they kept telling us, make sure you're drinking water.
Well, yeah, it would be dangerous if you didn't.
And it was so hot out there. So throughout the park, even when we were in Epic, they had not coolers, but they had those big buckets of water and bottled water everywhere for us to grab as we're going throughout the day, because they just wanted to make sure we were hydrated, because it was horribly hot that day. But the first day, so they let us into the park, and this was my first chance to ever walk through Epic, and looking around, and they took us right into Celestial Park, but they were leading us over to How to Train Your Dragon, which was the first area of the day that we had to go through and we had to check out. So they had this whole little ceremony to bring us into the land, which was kind of cool, the way they do it. And Universal, you might have seen, they have the portals. And they had actually sent us a portal as a...
Yes, that was super cool.
It was very cool. And then we got a new coin every few weeks when they announced what the new lands were going to be. So that was kind of cool to get that. But now I'm actually stepping into the park. We're standing at the portal. We're getting ready to go into How to Train Your Dragon. They do the little thing. And what was cool is the main characters from that franchise came out and talked to the crowd like, come on, we're going to go in and you're going to come.
Yeah, each portal had like a little introduction to the land.
Very cool. So I've got a really great picture. So you see them come out and they talk to us, and then you see the Vikings kind of in the smoke, and they're walking and like follow us into the land. So we walk into the land, and I have to say the theming of How to Train Your Dragon, I was so impressed with. It was so cool. This is probably the most complete land for a family. There is something for every age in that land to go and explore and do. The rides were great down there. They had lots of food. This was all I did that day, though, because then we had the problem with Jack, and you called me, and I had to come home and such.
Mm-hmm.
So I left. But from my experience of being in there during the day, that day, it was fantastic. And I really liked the food back there. They had macaroni and cheese cones, which had the best bread I think I've ever had on a macaroni and cheese cone ever. It was like everything bagel, but with macaroni and cheese in it. So that was fantastic. But then I took off and left, and I figured the next day I'll be back, and I'm gonna do everything the next day, cover the rest of the park. So
yeah, you crammed everything into that day, but you managed it.
I did, and full disclaimer, I was scared to death to cover this event without you being even close to being able to help me to do any of it.
Yeah,
so
well, normally I do the events.
The big ones, yeah, or we tag team them. And this one.
And I was home with Aiden, and I didn't even go back to the hotel.
No, you didn't.
No, I was not going to leave after everything that had happened.
Right.
So
then I really knew. I was like, oh boy, I don't have my...
On your own, kid.
I don't have my crutch back there to lean on if I needed. So
your crutch.
You are, well, no, not in a bad way, but it's like no, I don't mean it in a bad way at all. I just mean having you there makes it a little bit easier for me to know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, it and I feel the same. Like when I cover media events by myself. I mean, and I've done it for years, but I do prefer if you get to come with me, but I know that's not always possible.
Right. And the way we do events is you are fantastic when it comes to social media.
Well, thanks.
Posting pictures, tagging, putting it all out there. I'm not that good at it. So this was like, crap, I have to try to do this now, and I was a little nervous. I'm better at video. I'm better at recording video, knowing how I want to put it together and edit it. So day 2 comes up. So I did come home that day. I went back to the hotel that night because I knew it was starting bright and early the next morning, and I had to be ready and in the parks.
Yeah, you didn't want to go back, but I
didn't
kind
wanna
of
go back.
like you might as well get to work because there was nothing that you could do.
It was more of it was a distraction. I did break down a few times the second day, but it was a distraction to be there and seeing everything. But the next day was starting out, and the part I had been looking forward to the absolute most of all of Universal's
Dark
Epic
Universe.
Dark Universe, and I could not wait to walk in there. So we're standing at the portal waiting for us to go into Dark Universe the next day. They had Frankenstein come out. They had the Bride of Frankenstein come out, the Invisible Man, which you couldn't even see him, but he was there. And then they had Igor come out, and he talked to us, and then they opened the land to us to go into there. And I walked into this land, and I felt like I was walking into a Universal Monster movie. The only thing that would have made it better is if it was all in black and white. If there was absolutely no color in the land, but it was kind of drab. It looks like
it's kind of grayish.
It's kind of grayish, and it gives you that that you're in the movie. Everybody took off running to Monsters Unchained, the ride that people have been waiting to ride. If they haven't, people have wrote it, said it's the greatest dark ride they've ever been on.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree. It's a pretty good darn dark ride. So it actually takes place inside the Frankenstein Manor, the castle there, which the facade of that is fantastically done. You go inside there. There is so much to see inside this castle. So they've really done the theming of the whole thing really well. The queue is great. You walk through the queue. You're doing all that. You get to the point where now you're going to go onto the ride. The animatronics, fantastic. Frankenstein, really moves to where you would think it's somebody in a costume, and it's animatronic, so it's fantastic. Go on the ride. You sit in the seat. The seats are very similar to the seats on the Harry Potter ride. Not Gringotts, the other one.
Forbidden Journey.
Forbidden Journey. So you sit four, everybody side by side, for you to like a box, I guess you could say, and that's the ride you go through. And you're on the armature to where they're pointing you where they want you to see it, but there is stuff coming at you from everywhere. Parts are screens, parts are real sets they've created with animatronics and such. Fantastic ride. I rode it 4 times in a row right off the bat. I sat in every seat, and it was a fantastic ride. Then we go out there, get off that ride. There's another ride back there, the werewolf ride, which I didn't ride because you spin a lot. Didn't do that, but they had the blades of the one bar that were turning with the flames. Really cool effect. They have areas where it looks like they've dug up caskets because they're putting together their monsters.
Oh my God.
It's a really cool themed area. I could have spent a lot more time back there, but I couldn't because I had to get on to get out of that land, because now we're going to do Celestial Park, which is the main area of Epic Universe. It is actually done really well. It's beautiful. The grounds, the grass, the trees, just everything about it is it's very well done. It was very well planned out, and that's where they have 2 of their rides. They have their carousel, which is the thing you want to do.
I really want to do the carousel at night.
Because it's a carousel unlike any other.
But it's not really a carousel. The poles come from the bottom, and it's not from the top, and it's just different.
And they don't touch anything. It's
No.
like there's a big canopy around you, but it has nothing to do with the actual ride you're on. And it's different types of animals, but they're more celestial. They have lights in there. They're playing different types of music. They go backwards at certain times. It's just
Yeah,
it's really
I got to do that.
It's a full experience. The other one is the roller coaster they have for the area. I didn't do it just because, I don't know, I was hot. I didn't know if I wanted to sit and do a roller coaster that day, so I didn't do that. So I skipped that part. But I did get video of it. Everybody says they love it. I'm just not good at upside down, and there's an upside down in it, so I wanted to avoid that. So we went around, we did that the whole time. After that, we were going into Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic area. This area, I'd heard the ride was fantastic, but there had been problems with it. So some of my friends had seen it, some of them hadn't seen it, but the ones who said they seen it said it's fantastic. So they opened that land. We were treated to the brothers from the movie, who were Ron's brothers, the Weasleys, and Warwick Davis. They opened the land, which we've met Warwick before. Fantastic person. So they opened the land. We go in there, and everybody goes running. And you're set in Paris, 1920s. When you walk into the land. So it looks really well done. Again, the theming for it is fantastic. Everybody had a right to the ride. And the ride, oh my gosh, one of the best rides I think I've ever been on. Technologically, I don't know how they do it. I sat there riding the ride trying to figure out how they made it work, and I cannot come up with a way how they did it all.
Well, fun fact, a lot of ex-Imagineers are put together Epic Universe. So if that tells you anything,
yes,
it's well done.
Very well done. So got off that ride. That one, I can't even describe it to you. Michele said, what's it like? And I couldn't even really tell her because there's just so many parts of the ride that come together to do it. It's just fantastic. And one thing I think you need to see, didn't really make me motion sickness, a little bit of bumps and stuff. But if you're okay with motion, you won't have any problems with that.
Always precautionary Dramamine.
It doesn't hurt to take it. Doesn't hurt to have it in your system at all. So it's worth
with you
taking
just in case.
It is. So walked around that land for quite a while. There's not really much more to do back there. That stores, shops, there's like a little circus type thing they have back there. There's musicians playing around. But just the theming there, again, fantastic. It's like you walk from Celestial Park in any one of these lands, and you've left the world of Celestial Park and walked into that world of whatever it is, the next one. So they took a break at this point, and they said, okay, everybody has to leave the park for a couple hours and then come back later this evening for the big ceremonial opening and all that. And that's where everybody on Earth's brother was there. I think the place was packed. This was my chance to get in Super Nintendo World, though, which I hadn't seen. That world, you take an escalator up to it, and you literally step into the video game. You are now in Mario Brothers. And I was shocked how good the theming was, the music, everywhere you look, you see something moving that's part of the video games.
That's cool.
It was so cool to see it all. I did ride Mario Kart, which I've seen Aiden play. Our nephews, when we're in Michigan, they play Mario Kart.
Aiden loves Mario Kart.
And you're on the cart, and they put these glasses on you, and it's like you get to see stuff that you don't see on the track. It just comes through the glasses, and you see it all. It's really, really advanced, really technical, great. I mean, I can't even describe how great that was. I had so much fun, and I'm not even a Nintendo fan.
I know you're not.
No, I never had one. So it was kind of fun to be in there in that setting and be able to play the games. Food, all the food I had was fantastic throughout the 2 days in the park. They have booths everywhere, drinks, ice cream, water, whatever you need throughout the day. There's places to find whatever it is you want. Things you have to try. Again, the macaroni and cheese cone, I think, in How to Train Your Dragon was fantastic. The Frankenstein pretzel that's over in Dark Universe is worth trying. What else did I have? I ate so much that day, I can't remember everything. I just kept eating. They were like putting food in front of you and just eat it.
Well, yeah, it's research.
It was research, and that's why I need to go back and eat more. Because then I would.
Except it's not going to be free next time.
It won't be free, and I got to pay for it. The Donkey Kong ride. That's one that a lot of people. It's a roller coaster, but actually there's parts where you jump the track. So you're sitting in the cart, you're going down the way, and all of a sudden you see it looks like Donkey Kong rip the track to shreds, and you jump to the next track. So it's really cool how they do the effects in that. It's just a fun little ride, nothing to be scared about at all. So definitely want to check out. That evening they did the fireworks and the drone show they created. We have all that video up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, go to our YouTube because we have video.
And I have a full review on the site if you want to read it. And Michele proofed it for me, and it's a full review, but I really did go through each land and tried to cover as best I could. I know this seems kind of hodgepodgey right now that I'm just throwing stuff out there, but the review is a lot better, I think.
And it's long and it's detailed.
It's long, detailed, a lot of photos.
Yes.
For you to see it. So check that out on the Main Street Mouse. I'll have it in the show notes below that you can click on that link and go read my blog. But Epic Universe, I love the park. I know people always said, oh, it's going to be a Disney killer. I don't think it's going to be a Disney killer, but it's definitely a place that if you're coming to the Orlando area, you want to take a day and go to Epic Universe. If you can swing it, do it. Mm-hmm. It's definitely worth checking out. So that was my Epic Universe experience. Got back from that on Wednesday night, or Thursday morning is supposed to be.
Yeah, Thursday morning.
And then we had a little brief couple days off.
Very brief.
So that's where I wrote and I got my videos and stuff like that ready because Memorial Day was coming up. But before Memorial Day was Aiden's birthday that weekend.
Yes. And Scott and I took Andrew and Aiden to Kennedy Space Center because Aiden has wanted to go since we moved here.
Yeah.
And we had a really nice day. He was like, it was so weird because the kids are just desensitized a little bit from Disney and such and theme parks. But it was really cool as their mom to watch them light up and get excited about something.
They were like 6-year-olds.
They were. They had the best time. And it is pretty fascinating. There's a lot to see out there. But he had a really good day. And, you know, that's the most important thing. Right. You know, like we always let them choose what they want. If they want to go to dinner, if they want whatever. He said Space Center, and he said it since Christmas.
Usually he changes.
Yeah.
Because usually when he says it, he'll say it like to us 6 months before. It's like, okay, I want to go here for my birthday. It's like, okay, but you're going to change, so we're not going to worry about what you want.
Right, and then like about a month and a half, he's like, you know what? I don't know if I want to go there. I might want to do this instead. So he had a great day. Andrew had a great day. It was just good. And then the next day was Memorial Day. Our friends Chuck and Karen were having a little barbecue, and they made Karen made a really good cake for Aiden for his birthday.
No, we forgot to bring some of that home.
I know we did. I'm
still mad about that.
Still mad about that.
I don't even like cake, but that cake was excellent.
I know. And then the Saturday before that, Greg and Holly brought him a chocolate cake.
Right, he had another.
Then
cake.
His friend Heather brought him cake. So he had and this boy loves cake. Let me just say this.
He's had cake to the max.
He loves cake, and he has no body fat, but he could eat a whole cake by himself.
And he brought cake home from work the other day.
And he did bring cake home. He's got a cake addiction, I think. I think maybe we get intervention time.
Cake Anonymous.
Cake's Anonymous. But so we went out, and Chuck and Karen live over an hour away from us. And I had a media event that I had to check into that same day. Yes, Memorial Day. Yeah.
Which is really rare. We usually don't have media events on holidays.
No. And what am I trying to say? Because I don't want this to sound bad, but after losing Jack and just being drained with everything, it was hard for me to go to that event. I had anxiety about it. I didn't want to leave Chuck and Karen's because
it was a good time. We were having fun.
And it's like I knew I had to leave and go work, and so we left the party.
And usually an event like that, You get anxiety sometimes if the event is like really a lot or complex. This one was
Yeah. So I was talking about it on my show, and these kind of events normally I can do with, eyes closed, hand behind your back, the whole thing.
right.
Like, it's so easy for me because I'm used to it after all these years.
Right.
And I think my anxiety was just up so high
It was.
because, I had been talking about May for months. And all the stuff that we had to do. And, and I've been very open about I have problems with anxiety.
Right.
And there's some days the medication doesn't even help because it's just too much. And I think it was just too much.
It was. I think it was between all the work stuff going on.
Jack,
knowing
Aiden's birthday.
Knowing Aiden's birthday, Andrew's birthday's coming up also.
Wednesday, yes.
Wednesday. But then Jack passing kind of threw everything. It threw a wrench into the wheel that was turning.
I was already antsy and worried about stuff. And I knew once this event was over, I was going to breathe a sigh of relief, and I did. So, so I went to the studios and checked out their little dance party. They have Animation Courtyard has characters walking around almost like you would see out at Disneyland,
Which is awesome.
which is really awesome. And Clarabelle Cow will actually sit at a table and color with you. I mean, it's very different. So first up, we saw the new Little Mermaid show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely revamped.
Same theater.
Same theater. Same story.
Same bat channel.
Yeah. Yes. Same old. But they updated all the costuming. They updated puppets. They updated the set.
Mm-hmm.
And the theater is beautiful. They really did a good job with just redoing everything and giving it a modern look to it.
It kind of needed that update.
It so needed it
Yeah.
because if you think about it, we never went in there. Like, we saw it and we were like, meh.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing. Sidebar
Already.
already. Okay. So we all know that I have a point here. Follow me.
I'm following.
We all know the story of the Little Mermaid by now. It has been, like
Years.
like years. So Jodie Benson came out to introduce the show for us. Now, Jodie Benson is Ariel, obviously. And she said something that was startling. She said, here we are 39 years later. And I went, 39 years.
Yeah, so the movie actually was released in '89, but she was making it for years
Yes.
before that and everything.
She said she's been a part of it
Yep.
for that long.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it was like, oh my God, time really goes by. I remember seeing it in a theater. But anyway, so the show itself is good.
Mm-hmm.
The music is good. There's some plot holes in the story.
Okay. But if you know the story.
Yeah, but see, then that could work against you too, because it's like they go from, the kiss the girl scene, and they never show how they defeated Ursula to give the happily ever after. They skip that whole part. So basically, all right, here we go. Basically, if you like the story of The Little Mermaid and you like their most popular songs, go see that show, because that's really what it is.
Okay.
The storyline is there, but it's a little bit holy.
Because they only have less than 20 minutes to
Yeah,
try to.
it's short.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could have maybe did the whole story or at least mention things.
Okay.
But yeah, that didn't happen.
Had a narrator come on and kind of explain what.
Yeah,
happened.
like the sea witch has been defeated, yada yada. No, they didn't do that. But it was a nice show.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it was raining, and they shuffled us down to the new Villains show. Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After.
And that's in the old theater where they used to do the Cars show.
Yes, where Lightning McQueen was.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sure you have seen. We have video.
We have video of both of them on YouTube, actually, just to say it.
Yes, we have both. But I know for whatever reason, just looking around online, the villain show is what's getting the hype. And I believe there's reason for that, because the villain show is something brand new.
Right.
And like Little Mermaid, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And the villain show is how they're all quote unquote misunderstood, and the audience has to vote as to which villain is the most misunderstood. And I took you to see it today.
Yes,
because you didn't see it.
Media Day.
Yeah. So I really like it. I think the screens are very crisp. I think the show is fun. You liked it, and you said it was a little short.
So technologically, I absolutely love what they did, but I like presentation. I like the shows and how they bring it all together. So the screens and all that, absolutely amazing. How they do it all, I would love to get it behind the scenes and see how they do everything with that show, because I think it would be fun to see that. The show, it's not that the show's not a complete show, because it is. I just always want more. If something I like, I want to see it more. I wish there was a way to. One thing I would like, because I know it's right now it's the same show with the same characters each time. I wonder if there's a way in the future, and I'm sure they've probably talked about this, if it's going to stay around for any length of time, if they can switch out what characters are the ones that they're working with.
Yeah, because there's only 3 real people characters. It's Cruella, Hook, and Maleficent.
And you said how many villains?
85.
85 villains.
They said you will see 85 villains in and out, like where they pop up in these mirrors, and it's all animated.
It is. But you don't know some of those characters that pop up in those mirrors. I was looking at him going, because you can tell it's an actor who created it.
But didn't I tell you that it made you do a double take?
Hades and Jafar.
I looked like a real person.
They did. They looked like they were standing there talking to you, because these screens must be in 8K, because they are fantastic, so clear. It's just an amazing technologically how they did that.
Yeah, and it's a cute show. And then the audience votes on by applause at the end. Who is the most misunderstood? Now, somebody had asked me if it's the same all the time, or if they really do let the audience choose, and they do, because people have had different villains win. But anyway, it was a good show.
And I like the way that the villains are sitting there. I noticed like Hook is saying cheer Hook, Hook, Hook.
Yeah.
And I noticed Cruella kept saying woof, 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 woof. Trying to get the people that was there to get her attention so that they would vote for her. So it was really good though. I thought it was it's a great show. It is. It's one of those ones definitely to see. I always want more.
You wish it were a little longer.
Because the villains are my favorite part of the whole Disney bubble.
You're right.
And I'm excited about Villains Land, and I think this is a good segue for Disney to realize, yeah, we need this Villains Land. We need it for a while. People are gonna love it.
And there was a huge line to see Villains, and not so huge over at The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I'm not saying that The Little Mermaid is a bad show. I'm just saying it's not a new story. Whereas Villains, you're gonna go to the studios and you're gonna see something you've never seen before. And I think a lot of people want that newness. Now, we saw it, and it's new. We'd probably go see it again.
I would have went right back in.
Right. So, but Little Mermaid, I'm good. I'm a one and doneer with that.
Yeah, I don't really care if I see that one or not. I mean, I'm sure at some time I'll see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice show, but I think Villains wins.
Villains. Yeah, definitely Villains. And I think it's because that's something the fan base has been asking for a long time. At D23 a couple years ago, not this last one, but the one before that, when Josh had made the we're going to add blue sky ideas of the new lands, and he went through them all, and Villains was the last one he said, and the place erupted.
Oh yeah.
So I think by doing this, Disney's smart. They're giving the fans a taste of Villains before Villains Land will be there.
Right. So after that, it was raining. They were supposed to have the media reception at Animation Courtyard, but the weather has been crappy rain-wise. So they bussed us over to the Yacht Club in their convention area, and they had food. They had like blow up, looks like coral, I guess. Supposed to look like under the sea.
Okay.
But they had Pain and Panic there for a meet and greet, and Sebastian. So that was really cool.
Because you don't see those characters, especially Sebastian. You'll see Pain and Panic will be at the Halloween party on the float, but you never see Sebastian.
Yeah, not usually, and he was really cute. So after that, went home, had to be back at it first thing in the morning.
You had to be there, I think, at 8 o'clock.
I did. But I knew that my stress time was going to be over soon. So anyway, started off at Epcot because Goofy's Goof Core Hall.
Gosh.
Gosh. There's a DJ in there, and like they have carpet on the ground that looks like almost like Chutes and Ladders, like a video game.
Oh, that's cool.
And the DJ like plays games with kids or whatever. But I got there, and right outside where they have like the outside of Communicore Hall, but not quite there. Before you get to like where the Encanto
Okay.
stuff is, they had an outdoor like breakfast set up.
Okay.
And that was really nice. They had a ton of food. It was really good.
Well, that's where they had when they opened Communicore Hall, we had the big food area in that area too.
It was before you even got
Oh,
there.
really? Okay.
Yes, it was out like in the cement.
Oh,
like
wow.
right behind the stage.
Oh,
How we were in front of the stage
yeah.
before, it was behind the stage.
Oh, okay. I know. What
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
So they fed us. There was all kinds of good food. And then they were saying that Goofy was supposed to be out at 9:00. So, I was watching the time because I wanted to get in there before anybody got in there so I could get like video of the carpet, the DJ, the whole thing. And then Goofy didn't come out till 9:15.
Oh.
And so I left my breakfast, some of it, but then you could go back and eat again.
Oh.
So yeah, it was cute. Definitely geared towards kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
like 110%. You know how some of the dance parties or whatever, like it's for big kids too.
Yeah.
Like, me, big kid. It was definitely for the little ones.
Okay.
So, because they're for the Cool Kids Summer, they are very, very focused on families and little ones.
Well, and that makes sense because if you please the kids, the family's gonna be happy.
Yeah, your kid's happy. You don't have to, it's easier.
Yeah, it's much easier.
Much easier. So, I did that, and then you were over at Magic Kingdom.
Right, because I knew you were coming to Magic Kingdom eventually because
Yes.
you were coming there to see the dance parties they had going on over there for Cool Kids Summer.
Yeah, so after we were done with Epcot, they wanted us to go over to Magic and record the new stuff there. So I just got on the monorail after I was done and headed over to see the dance parties. And it was just, let me just say, it was so hot that day. It was absolute misery. I don't remember recently it being that hot. Like you're standing in boiling water outside. It was terrible.
So if you remember a few years back before COVID when they had the Incredible Summer, and they had all that stuff, that was the hottest day on Earth that day.
It was awful.
There's a reason why Hades is at the studios because it's too hot at the Magic Kingdom to be there.
It was way too hot.
He even said, I'm not going over there. It's
I'm
too
not
hot.
going over there. It was terrible. But so we went and we got the dance party over at Stitch's dance party, which I found out that is staying. And isn't that one staying? Which one is staying?
The one that's staying that's really for the... Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Now I'm trying to think what I was told.
Stitch is staying. The one in the back isn't.
Is for the Cool Kids Summer. The one in the tent. Yes,
the one in
you're
the
right,
tent is now. Oh, you're wrong.
Yes.
Did you hear that, guys? He said he's wrong. Anyway, mark that down.
Edit that out.
Mark that down.
This show's an edit.
So Stitch is staying around past Cool Kids Summer. The Pluto is in the back in the circus tent doing a little thing, but isn't that for kids too?
That one is for kids, and that one's got everything. They're bringing out the characters. They're bringing out the different cast members to do different fun activities with the kids.
But they were playing Christmas music.
They were playing Mariah Carey's Christmas song, which I kept waiting for Clarabelle because that's her song at Christmas party.
Yeah, but it was we walked back there, and I now mind you, we're dying of heat. I mean, we're like on the border of like heat exhaustion, and all of a sudden Mariah Carey comes on, and I'm just like, am I hallucinating here? Like, what is going on? So yeah, they're having a Christmas party apparently in the back.
It was
the
Christmas
park.
in May.
I guess. I mean, I don't know, but it was very interesting. So other than that, like there's not it's just the new dance parties from what I understand over at Magic Kingdom.
And I know from what I was told, the Stitch one in the evening is still centered around the kids, but not heavily kids.
It's more like regular dance party.
Yeah, regular dance party from 5 to 9.
Yeah, and I like that idea. I mean, it's good to have stuff for the littles, but then sometimes, for everybody is cool too. But after that, we just kind of walked around, and it was hot, and I had to be at the Contemporary for when did I have to check in?
You had to check in at 6 for the little dinner, more announcements and such, beginning at 6:30, I think.
Yeah, so we sat at the Contemporary to cool off because I could not go back out there.
No, we did smart. We went over to the Contemporary. We had lunch in the Contempo Cafe, and we literally sat there for a couple hours.
We sat there because, and you do get tired when it is that hot outside. The heat index was like 100.
Yeah.
And when it's that hot, it makes you tired.
It does. It drains you.
Drains you. So I'm sitting there, and I come prepared. I had a shirt to change into. I had like deodorant, I had perfume, I had everything to where I could refresh in the bathroom. And thank God I did. I even had, it was awful. So I went to check in over at the why are you laughing at me?
It was awful.
It was awful. Oh my God. I'm such a germaphobe too. I hate feeling gross. So anyway, I went to check in and they didn't open the doors yet. Okay. So it was like supposed to be like the Starlight dinner or whatever.
Which we should have taken the name of that right away to realize what it was.
Okay.
About.
Well, I heard in the afternoon that the parade date was coming out. So I knew it was coming. And so I wrote the blog up in the afternoon.
Right.
So all Scott had to do was put in the date and hit publish because we weren't going to be on it.
Yeah, because so Michele was in the media event with all the other media, so that means the Wi-Fi signal was going to be really stretched. But I wasn't there, so I was able to get it out a little bit quicker.
I texted him. I'm like, July 20th, go, go, go.
I think we had it out. We had it out faster than the Parks blog.
Because I did it ahead of time.
Yep.
That's smart thinking. So anyway, so I went in there and everything was like iridescent. Like the chairs were just like see-through plastic.
Oh, really?
They had like glittery tablecloths, which I wanted, by the way. I'm like, will anybody miss this tablecloth? They had drinks with glitter in it. No, I didn't steal a tablecloth. He's laughing at me. He's laughing at me.
Because I'm thinking back like the old Christmas parties or weddings and people take like the centerpieces.
Yes.
You're taking the tablecloth. You're like, I don't want any of the other stuff.
I thought about that. I'm like, what are y'all going to do with this stuff? They had fresh flowers on the tables, too.
Well, those will probably get disposed of, but the tablecloths.
They were already looking a little wilted. But anyhow, so they had a lot of park food. They had like cheeseburger egg rolls. They had Mickey waffles. They
I would
had
have been in paradise.
Yeah, different things. I remember I had a Mickey waffle with Nutella and strawberries on it. That was delish.
That's one of your favorite things to get when we're at the park and you don't want anything too heavy to eat.
It is. So that's what I had for dinner.
Good healthy dinner.
So healthy. You know what? We were outside in that heat. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna eat like 8 waffles if I want them.
I had tots and cheese in the morning from the one place in Magic Kingdom.
Give me all the Nutella. So we eat and people are walking around. They had the new Disney Starlight merchandise in the corner. So I got to see the merchandise for the new nighttime parade too. And there was a stage set up, so we were all just kind of waiting. And I was right in front of the stage, our table
and
was.
at this point, they hadn't announced the date yet.
They haven't said anything. So, like, directors of nighttime entertainment at Disney were out speaking. And all of a sudden, Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy came out in their Disney Starlight costumes that are going to be used in the new parade. And then there were some singers and little thingies, and then they announced the parade date, and they showed the concept art for the last float.
Right, which looks really cool.
Which has multiple characters on it, even Rapunzel and Flynn, which I was happy about.
They're doing something for Rapunzel and Flynn?
I know, it's not even a bathroom. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overjoyed.
So one thing I'll say really quick so we don't forget about this. So you were talking about the characters at the studios wandering around Animation Courtyard. At the Magic Kingdom, characters were kind of roaming around too that day when I was there before you came over there from Epcot.
Oh, okay.
And I saw Mr. Shmee was walking around It's a Small World. Rapunzel was hanging around the bathroom area and her tower. But it was funny because people came up to see her and then she would take them over and show them her tower and things like that. So it was really cool. And then I saw Peter Pan and Wendy skipping around near Frontier area.
See, I think that's cool because that's how they do it out at Disneyland. And it's kind of more interactive with people.
It is.
Okay, so once I sent you that date, I could feel the stress just leave.
Oh, I'm sure because of that the pressure was off now. You got it out.
It was like those couple of weeks of nonstop work. I knew that Disney Starlight would be the period at the end of the sentence for all of this. Yep. And when I sent it to you, I was like, and it's so funny because we were ready for it. Everybody else in the room was still on their phone trying to get the info out, and all I did was tell you July 20th.
Because I had a feeling, even before we had confirmation we were getting the date that night, I already had a feeling that's what they were going to be announcing because it said on the itinerary and more announcements that you haven't heard yet. And I figured, okay, it's got to be Starlight because that's the only big thing coming.
And the one everybody had been waiting for.
And that we knew not much about. We'd seen the concept work of most of the floats, but we still didn't have a date. And that's what everybody wants. So everybody's always been speculating over it, looking at the Disney calendar. We were speculating about it earlier in the day because I thought it might be in June, depending on how the calendar was set up. So we need the nighttime parade. Disney needs it.
It is so needed. Since Main Street Electrical Parade left, I know for a while there, I mean, we're used to it now, but for a while, evenings felt weird with no parade.
It did because it was a custom that,
Yeah.
but sadly, like everything though, we started to, it's the parade. I can see it next time.
You
I've
get
seen
used to it, and then when it's gone, you're like, okay, I kind of miss that. And now, now when you think of the Main Street Electrical Parade and hear the music, it just all nostalgia.
And I thought about it even more when we were at Disneyland. We saw Paint the Night because the
love Paint the
very
Night.
beginning of Paint the Night, the music sounds a lot like Main Street Electrical.
They do like a nod to Main Street
Yes.
Electrical Parade, which is super cool. And maybe they'll do that with this one. I don't know. But I'm really excited to see it.
Mhm.
And we will definitely have coverage when that hits.
And that will be July 20th.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's a Sunday. So we will be there. I did make reservations to make sure. I'm sure there'll be a media event either the night that day or the day before, depending on.
I mean,
when
I
we
hope
drop it.
so, but I don't like to count my
I'm
chickens.
not counting the I mean, I'm sure they'd have something, but who knows? But we will be there opening night regardless, and I'm sure you'll be live streaming it, and I will be recording it.
We will do everything we can to bring you guys the information. And I know that it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I know there's been a lot of stuff going on. But I just want to say thank you to all of you for following our socials and following along because it's been a lot of work. And the fact that you guys follow and support is great, and we appreciate you.
Definitely. So just a couple more things I want to talk about what we did. We went to Hollywood and Vine for dinner the other night with our friend Claire.
Yes, Claire took us to dinner. She invited us to dinner, which was very, very nice of her.
It was very nice. It was a good dinner. We got to meet all the characters, Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, and Goofy.
Yes. Good characters that night.
Great characters.
Very good interaction.
Yes. And for those wondering, too, also, if you're a pass holder, I just want to mention right now, certain restaurants, Monday through Thursday, let me emphasize, Monday through Thursday, 40% off at some of the restaurants, one of them being Hollywood and Vine. So if you go on those nights, we went Friday night, so we didn't get to save that much, or Claire didn't save.
Yeah, I know. We felt kind of bad about that. But
there's like 5 restaurants right now that you can do that, and then there'll be 5 new ones announced July 1st, and these ones will go off. So check the pass holder part of the My Disney Experience app, and you can see what restaurants are in there.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, we went to Disney Springs and hung out with friends for the day.
Yes, we did. That was a lot of fun. And then
Splitsville,
went to Splitsville.
which is always fun.
We always go to Splitsville.
Love Splitsville.
I do love Splitsville.
And then yesterday, Sunday, we went to breakfast with our friends Holly, Greg, and Claire again, and had breakfast and sat around, just gabbed and talked, and we were there
At
for
the Cracker Barrel.
we were there for like 3 hours. We talked a lot outside because we were waiting for a table, but we talked.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's always chatty at the Cracker Barrel.
Always is, but it was a good time. It's been a good week, but now finally we can have some breathing room. We don't have really anything on the horizon. We do have a media event Thursday of this week at Raglan Road.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. Watch the socials. You'll see all the information about that. But other than that, we don't really have anything big in the hopper right now that's coming down.
I'm kind of glad. I feel like I need a little time to regroup
Yeah.
because it has just been nonstop, work, 12 hours or more during the day, and then
in the sun too, in the heat.
It's
made
a
some
lot,
days.
but yeah, it was. I'm not complaining. It's a great job to have, and it's been fun, tiring but fun.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay, so we are going to do something new this week. After I'm gonna run through the news stories real quick, and then we're gonna play a little question game between the two of us. Then I have a user question that was sent in for you to answer, and then we'll close out from there.
Listener, not user.
I'm sorry, did I say user? Yeah, listener. I'm tired.
That's okay.
It's been hot. We were outside today. So just really quick, I'm going to run through the news. If there's anything you want to elaborate on or talk about, stop me. So Stitch crash lands at Disneyland for the 70th celebration. So Stitch is popping up everywhere because the movie just came out, the new Stitch movie. New rooms at Port Orleans French Quarter. So they have new remodeled rooms you put out.
Okay.
You put out the first look at Disney villains Unfairly Ever After. So I think you put out the video and a little bit of things after. pretty sure,
Yes.
for them to see it.
And now we have the whole show out.
And now we have the full show. New Lilo and Stitch snacks across parks.
Yes.
All the Disney parks because of the movie.
Yes, because of the movie.
Disney Starlight Parade time announced, so you can go there and read more about that. And we also have a Everything We Know About Starlight blog on the site, so you can click on that and learn everything about it. The Savannah Bananas visited Disneyland.
Yes,
Other day.
they're a good time.
They look like they have so much fun.
And I would love to see them.
So they're basically the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yes.
Is what they are. Disney Springs Flavors of Florida dates and details were announced.
Yep.
That's coming. We've covered that in the past. Disneyland's 70th Nostalgic Bites inspired by vintage food. This one, I wish we would have been there for the 16th because so much of the food that they released.
Yeah, we missed out.
Looks so good. So I want to go back almost just to have some of that yummy food. Freeform's 30 Days at Disney started this past Sunday. So they're doing 30 days of Disney on
Disney movies, yeah.
Disney movies on Freeform. New Adult Lounge GEO 82 opening soon at Epcot.
July 4th.
July 4th. So make sure you check that
No,
out.
June 4th. June 4th.
Yeah, June 4th.
Sorry, why did I say July?
2 days from now,
June.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just a couple other ones. My Epic review. You can go and read that on the site. I've got the link to that in the show notes. Also, today, the closing date for Rip Ride Rocket came out.
Yes.
So
it's
Michele
closing in August. It was supposed to be closing in September originally. They don't. So another attraction is going into that spot, but they have not given out any details as to what it is.
No.
So my only thing with that is that it's going to be weird not seeing it behind the concert stage. It's going to be weird not seeing the coaster go by when you're at City Walk.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those things. It's almost like an icon of the park because you just see it. It's at the front of the park.
Even if you don't ride it, you still know all about that.
And I think it's had its time.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't ride it anymore. It made me nauseous. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what they have because they put out speculation and stuff. And we're not going to talk about any of that, but it could be interesting if some of these things they're talking about come to.
As soon as we find out, we will tell you.
That's it. And then yesterday, the first teaser for HHN was dropped on social medias by Universal Orlando, and it's going to be Five Nights at Freddy's. We don't know if it's a house. We don't know if it's a show. We don't know if it's a scare zone because they haven't said. All they said it's coming in a new way this year to Universal Studios, both Orlando and Hollywood.
Yeah, so you got to stay tuned there too because we don't know.
Yeah, so as soon as we have more information on that, we will be sure to share that with you guys. But any of these news stories, there's a link in the show notes below, and you can click on that and you can read more details about anything we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our new segment we're going to add, make this a little bit more fun, keep you guys listening, and hopefully make you laugh. Or make you go, why am I listening to these people if that's what they think?
Well, they might have already thought that. It's been a long show.
They probably have. It has been a long show. But so my question for Michele, and I'll answer it also, name 5 movies, Disney movies, that you've never seen. And tell me why. Did you not see them because you didn't want to? Did you not see them because you...
Okay. Well,
if you want to do one on one, I'll do one. You do one.
Okay, so let's do that, and we're just gonna throw it on the table that neither of us lose our Disney card for this.
No, and these are in no particular order.
No particular order. Okay, I have not seen. Like, I don't want to. There's quite a few I haven't seen, and I really don't want to lose my Disney card. Okay.
But you know the stories usually.
I know the stories. So in here, let's put that out there too. Like, there's movies that. Like Scott especially, like he should lose his Disney.
Oh my
card.
God, yeah, I should lose my card.
But he knows, like he hasn't seen the movies, but he knows the story because of different shows, because of different, the cruise line shows, because of the parks, because everything.
Right.
Okay, so I have not seen Frozen 2.
Okay, I haven't seen it either, but I'm not gonna count that as my 5. So I'm just gonna preempt this with this.
Oh boy, his are bad.
I was not a Disney fan growing up like Michele. I didn't grow up watching the movies and doing all the stuff like she did. And Michele is the one that introduced me to Disney when we started dating.
Uh-huh.
So we'll just say it that way.
Okay.
Just to preempt it.
Okay.
Because we were driving in the car earlier and she said, what are some of your 5? And I started naming them. She started laughing at me. She goes, how have you not seen these? Sad thing is I know all the movies. I know what they're like. So I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and start with the first one is Lilo and Stitch.
I just can't. So, like, none of mine are super surprising, but
mine
yours
will
are.
shock everybody. I probably got 15 more, 20 more I can
Oh my
name after the
God.
5.
Yeah, and I love Lilo and Stitch. It has a little special place in my heart, and you haven't seen it.
Nope.
And for me, Frozen 2, I just wasn't interested because I think I'm frozened out. After the first one, it just got, overdone. But yeah, so no Frozen 2 for me. Okay, so my second one. See, but okay. Like, some of it would be like no shock. Like, because some of these movies are just meh.
Well, there's not a Figment movie or a Sunny Eclipse movie, so
No, I don't mean that. I mean stuff that maybe other people haven't seen either. Okay, so there's not shocking.
Well, try to find the shocking ones. Because mine are shocking.
I don't have big shockers like you. Okay, I'll do one more that's meh, and I'll try to go for shocking.
Okay.
Wish.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, and I'm going to go off on a tangent. Give me 1 second, okay?
This is one you didn't want to see.
I don't want to see it. I don't care. Most people don't care because they had to clearance out the merchandise right away. They keep trying to make Wish happen, and Wish is not going to happen. And they even have a float in the new parade. Like, nobody cares.
The best part, though, is in the villain show today, the bad guy from Wish is because I only know that because of the way he looks. He was like dead center in the screen when they're showing the villains for all the...
Stop trying to make Wish happen.
I wish it would happen.
All right. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay, so my next one, I have seen the Disney show on the ship. I know the story of the movie. I don't have a problem with it. I know the music. It's one of the best soundtracks probably ever created for a film. I don't have a problem with any of it. I just never seen it. Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I was surprised. And the thing is that you really love the Beauty and the Beast show on the cruise.
Yeah, I love the show.
It's your favorite one.
It is. I love that show. I just think it's fantastic.
See, but this is another case, though, where you don't need to go back and see it because you know the story, you know the music, you know the characters, you know all of it.
And I'd probably watch the movie and be like, well, in the play they did this. And I thought it was better.
And they even have the sing-along at Epcot.
That's right, they do. We've done that.
Yeah, and they have the Beauty and the Beast show at Hollywood Studios. So it's not like you don't know the story.
Yeah, I know the story without a problem.
Big time know the story.
It's just, when that came out, I don't know, I just never had any desire to go see it.
Okay. All right.
That's 2 of my shockers I still got.
I know. There's quite a few that I have. So, like, I could say something like Raya and the Dragon or whatever that was. Like, I didn't see that. I don't care. But if you want to go something a little more shocking, okay, don't hate me. Don't hate me, people. I have not seen Hercules. Now, I love the music of Hercules.
It's great. The music is excellent.
I know the story of Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen bits and pieces. I have never sat down and watched it from beginning to end.
You took pictures with Pain and Panic.
I know. I feel like a fraud. I mean, and it's like I've seen parts of it, but if I'm being transparent, I've never watched it from beginning to end.
Okay.
And I don't know why, because I love the music. So
yeah, the music alone makes it worth it. Well, my next one, because we already kind of talked about this movie earlier in the day, and Jody Ben said 39 years. I've never seen The Little Mermaid.
I just can't. You know,
and it's another show I've seen on a Disney cruise.
You have seen, but again, you know the story. You know the music. And here's the thing. Here's the thought. Because you didn't grow up watching Disney movies, some of these movies are old.
Right.
So you weren't going to go back and watch them because you already know about it. So I guess I can give you some leeway there.
And I don't have a lot of time in the day now to watch a movie I want to see.
Oh, I know.
Much less go back and watch a movie from 30 years ago.
That you already know how
it ends. So yeah. So far I'm at Lilo and Stitch, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid.
Jeez.
If Disney counted on me to make those blockbuster hits, they were in trouble.
God. So what have I done? Frozen 2, Wish. And Hercules. I'm trying to think. What else haven't I seen that like everybody has seen? Oh, see, but I could talk about the movies, you know, like Raya. Or
but you already said that. Now you gotta say something.
I know. I've never seen. I didn't see Moana 2. I'll group it. I haven't seen Moana 2 or Inside Out 2.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen either. I'll do because they're sequels. I'll put
Right.
2s in there. See, wait a minute. Okay, well, Frozen 2
You
is a
haven't seen
sequel
Frozen
too.
2 either.
Apparently, I'm not vested enough to see.
You don't like sequels.
to see the second part. I don't know, but no, I haven't. And I'll throw myself under the bus just one more step. I've only seen Moana one time, and for me, again, don't hate me. One and done. I don't need to see it again.
But the music from Moana is great also.
The music is fantastic. The story is, it's all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, your turn.
So this one, I'm going to say, I've seen the live action remake of this.
Oh, this is bad. It's really bad.
No, you really want to know what's really bad about this? At our wedding, one of the main songs from this movie played.
It did?
After we got married, we walked away to a whole new world.
Oh, you haven't seen. Oh, I thought you were going to go with a different one.
No, Aladdin. I've not seen the animated version of Aladdin. I've seen the live action, which I just sat there and ripped on Will Smith the entire time. But I've never seen the animated version.
I thought you were going to go with a different one that's also.
Well, I got one more.
I know you have like.
I have a plethora to choose from.
You do have a plethora.
I feel like El Guapo in Three Amigos. Okay. What is a plethora?
Which has also been on TV a lot lately. Okay.
I've seen that.
So, am I at 5?
This will be your 5th one.
Okay. Oh. Now, some of them I don't know. I believe I saw when I was little, and I don't remember. So, is that a fair assessment, or?
I guess.
You know what I mean? Like, so I could.
Yeah, because when you're not really paying attention, if it wasn't like where you watched it over and over and over and over and over again, you might not remember seeing it.
Aristocats.
Oh.
So I believe I saw it when I was very.
You like Marie.
I think Marie is sassy and cute, but am I a fan of the movie? Not necessarily.
Okay.
And it's because I don't remember it. So I'm just gonna say that I didn't see it because maybe I did when I was really small, but I don't even know the storyline.
Okay, so my last one, I think I know which one you were talking about.
Oh, yes.
I have seen like a second movie of this live action that they recently did.
Which sucked.
Wow.
Okay, anyway, I'm sorry.
Wow.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay.
But they did do a live action remake of this movie a few years ago. I don't think I saw that, though.
No.
But this movie, and it's not because I had nothing that I didn't want to see the movie, has probably the best soundtrack of any movie in the history by Elton John. The music for this movie, I have seen the show at Animal Kingdom numerous times. I have never seen The Lion King.
Oh, see, his list is the gut punchers.
I could still go on further.
I know, and it's like you help me. You're the co-owner of a Disney site.
I handle Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar. Those are my specialties.
Oh, this list is killing me. I mean, with mine are a little more forgivable. Yours, though, holy cannoli.
I haven't seen 101 Dalmatians.
Oh my God, make it stop.
I haven't seen Mulan.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen Big Hero 6. Tarzan. I don't know if I've seen Sleeping Beauty.
What have you seen? I mean, is that a
Tangled.
shorter list? Tangled.
Brave, Tangled, Princess and the Frog.
You've seen more than newer ones.
I've seen the newer ones. Yeah, I'm going through the list right now. My computer is looking, glancing at some of these. I'm like, nope, yep, nope.
I'm trying to think if there's
a lot more nopes and a lot of yeps.
Yeah, I know. Because when we got together, I would drag you to Disney movies.
You would.
But like we didn't, you know.
But then see, so some of these movies, like I've seen the newer, like maybe a live action, like for instance, Alice in Wonderland. I've seen the movie with Johnny Depp, the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever saw the cartoon version. I don't know. I think I have, but I don't know 100%.
And you know the story.
I know the story. I know I've seen Fox and the Hound. I don't know if I've seen Lady and the Tramp. I think I have, but I don't know.
Oh my God.
I honestly don't remember because growing up, that wasn't my thing. I was into like Star Wars and stuff like that I didn't really care about.
Oh my God. Lady and the Tramp was the very first Disney movie I saw.
I know this,
And it was a re-release because obviously I wasn't born in the 50s.
obviously.
But yeah, I saw it when I was like 5 and I loved it. It was my favorite. And then when my mom bought me the VHS tape when I was little, when they took it out of the vault, as they used to say.
Because they used to always take it out of the vault and then they put it back in the vault.
Yeah.
Get it before it's
for
back
a
in the
limited
vault.
time out of
Yeah.
the Disney vault.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just going through this list and I'm going, nope. Yeah.
Okay, I will confess, I don't think I've ever seen from start to finish Mulan either.
Yeah, I don't think
I like the music.
I like the music. I don't think I've seen Pocahontas either. And we have met Irene, who was the voice of Pocahontas.
I feel like I saw it a long, long time ago, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So, and that's where, like, if I saw something one time when I was a kid,
You wouldn't remember.
I might not remember it.
Right.
But, some of these things, repeats.
But see, the thing is, so when we were kids, these films came out and they were in the movies and then they went away.
Yeah.
Not like today where they go to streaming services and you can rewatch them 74,000 times. Or when we were kids, a VHS tape was $90.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's like now they're...
yeah, we didn't have streaming then. So you couldn't so for example, like when the kids were small, I had the DVD of movies for them. And I could just put in the DVD and play it for them as much
Yeah.
as they wanted.
You didn't have to hit rewind, you just hit play again. And
Right.
Yep.
So that was easier too, but now with streaming it's a whole different situation.
Whole different story. So yeah, so that's one thing I guess I will say. And I didn't have HBO and all those growing up, so I didn't even have a ways to watch stuff when they were like on the pay channels, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm sorry about all that.
I'm not any hurt because I didn't see some of these. I mean, some of these movies I wouldn't mind sitting down and seeing them, but it's like, when am I going to take the time? Because I'm probably not going to pay attention if I know the story.
Well, yeah, you might get bored because you already know what happens.
Because I'd like to watch Beauty and the Beast and see what all the hype was about with the movie. But
You've
it's like,
seen it. You
but
saw
I've seen it.
You saw the show on the cruise. It's the same thing.
And I can take that show, I can take the one at the studios, I can take it all together and put
Piece
it together.
together,
I see
and
it
you
all.
got the story.
Yeah, the only parts I don't see are the filler parts.
Okay.
So, but that's
For shame.
okay. Take away my card. I can take
Take
away your
card.
Star Wars card.
Oh, I don't ever had one.
Exactly. I can take that one, your Marvel card. You've seen a lot of the Marvel ones.
I've seen a lot of Marvel. I've seen the Star Wars too, but I just don't care.
You don't like Rogue One, and that's what's devastating.
I don't like Rogue One. No.
I know you were shocked everybody died.
Yeah.
Kind of had no choice.
I'm not invested. I just
know.
don't see the. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet because we're gonna get hate mail from Star Wars fans. So okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay. Anyway, so I have a question for you though from longtime listener Carol Matthews.
Okay, hi Carol.
Hello, Carol. Carol asked, I love this question.
Oh boy.
What guest behavior at the parks is a pet peeve of Michelle's?
Oh, Carol, you're opening Pandora's box here because I have a lot.
I read this question and I go, well, she doesn't like this. She doesn't like. I started going
know.
through all the different things you don't like that people do at the parks.
Okay, Carol. Well, in fairness, like we're locals and we go a lot, so I mean, people can work our nerves even more than because it's constant.
It's constant.
I mean, today at the studios, I'm like, it's so people here.
And then you feel invisible. You kept saying that. Does nobody see me? Because people just keep ramming
Okay, yeah,
right into me.
Yes. Okay, so that's one of them I can say.
Mhm.
I feel like I am the invisible woman because people bump into me, they stop in front of me, they cut me off, they come barreling at me with the stroller or something like I'm
Steamroller.
not there. I don't know why people that here we go. People with no self-awareness
That's a good one.
because, it's not just about you when you're at the park.
Right.
And you can't pull this garbage. Oh, I paid a lot to be here. We all did.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people that aren't self-aware. So that is one that bothers me probably the most.
Mhm.
I would say a close second would be people that cut in front of you when you have staked out your spot for a show.
Oh, yeah, that's irritating.
Oh my gosh. I remember when we first moved here, we were still getting footage for stuff. And we still do. When there's something new, we have to cover it.
And we will wait out in line for an hour.
We will wait to stake our spot.
Yep.
And you got people that walk up when the show is starting and try to push you out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Rude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that either. Or people that cut in line. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
But mostly the self-awareness part, Carol, because
And all those kind of are self-aware. People
Really?
who cut in line are unaware of the people around them. They're just doing it.
you could group it together. I think if people could just be more mindful of others around them, that you are not the only person
Right.
walking on Main Street and, get out of my way type of thing.
And I understand it to a point with people who are maybe their first time visiting or their first time bringing their kids, that they get excited about certain moments and they may not be paying attention to what's going on except for what their moment that they're in. But when they do it over and over and the whole day is just like pushing people and I'm better than you and get out of my way.
Yeah, I deserve
Yeah.
to be here.
No, you don't.
No, it's one of those things that it's just, and I think part of it, Carol, you're going to be so sorry you asked me this because I ramble, but I'm just going to say another thing. I think society as a whole has a problem with self-awareness because a lot of people are about me right now.
Right.
So it's what I want to make the most of my day. It's the lack of courtesy for others. I think it goes well past the theme parks.
And that's perfect, actually, way to say it. Courtesy of others.
Yes, and the theme parks are full of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't stop me from going.
No, and it won't stop you from going.
And it won't stop. I mean, like today, okay, because again, we are jaded annual pass holders. Like we are. It's so different when you live here. And we're at the studios today, and I had people stop in front of me at the last minute where I almost ended up in somebody's backpack.
You did.
People walking at me, people on their phone, and they bump into you because they're not paying attention.
Right.
Or, people that walk in front of you with a stroller or a scooter or something, and they almost take you out.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah. Courtesy goes a long, long way.
It really
so I
does.
hope that answers your question, Carol. And thank you for sending it in.
Yes, thank you so much for sending that in. And if you have a question you'd like me to ask Michele on the air, and as you can tell, she had no idea what the question was until I asked it.
No, that was good.
I know. I like doing the spontaneity of
He
just throwing it
likes
at
to
you.
surprise me because I think I am not a planner per se. I do
No.
better off the cuff.
And I don't want you to overthink the question.
No.
So if I just throw it at you, it's going to be your first instinct to answer it.
Yeah.
So if you have a question you want me to throw at Michele and get her off her game, you can email me at scott@themainstreetmouse.com and just put in there a question for Michele on the podcast, and I will ask it, and I will mention your name on the air. We really appreciate you sending those in because I think
They're
it's fun.
They're so much fun.
It's a fun thing to do. Also, for our new section of the podcast where we're going to talk about something between the two of us about like movies or rides or something like that in the future, like we did today with the 5 movies we'd never seen.
And it'll be more of that because today was
Yes.
a lot of news to cover.
It was.
But we want to make it more chatty and conversational that you guys feel like you're a part of the show.
Right. So if you have ideas of things you want us to discuss like that, send them in. I said we will always be open to new ideas because we can't think of everything you guys want to hear. So we're always open to hear what you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Exactly. Michele's podcast, Daydream Believing Podcast, comes out every Thursday. You can email her questions, comments, or show ideas at michele@themainstreetmouse.com. It's Michele with 1 L, not 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to quickly mention our sponsors. Our main sponsor and official travel partner of the Main Street Mouse is MEI Mouse Fan Travel. They will help you plan the perfect vacation. And the best part of it, it's 100% free for you. It doesn't cost you anything to use their services. You can click on any of our banners on our website, go to their site, fill out a small form, and one of their travel advisors will contact you back. Also, our stroller scooter partner, Kingdom Strollers, can help you with any rental. They deliver and they pick it up for you. When you're here in the Central Florida area, they will deliver anywhere. So if you're at a hotel, if you're at a Airbnb, or if you're at your uncle's house staying there for the week, they will deliver and pick it up for you. Just go to kingdomstrollers.com. Just let them know you heard about them on the Main Street Mouse, and they will take care of all your needs. That's all I have to say tonight. Hopefully I didn't lose my card, my Disney card, for the movies I haven't seen. I will talk to you guys next week unless I get booted off the show, and then I won't be back. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you guys for all the support. Again, thank you for following the past half a month of busy and a bunch of stuff going on. We really appreciate you. We could not do this without you. So it is appreciated more than you know. Don't forget about lostprincessapparel.com. We have all kinds of cute Disney outfits that you're going to want to have for summer, and they are comfortable and cute, which, you know, it's hard to find both in one thing. So, but yeah, keep following our social media. We're on the Main Street Mouse, like on everything. So, and I post something daily. So on that note, I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, magical week ahead, and we will see you real soon.
Our trip around the Magic Kingdom is almost complete. I can't thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. And I hope you've enjoyed your journey as much as I've appreciated being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gather your belongings, watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
On behalf of our entire flight crew, thanks for soaring with us.
Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.
Some imagination, huh?